GE. You can see that it's had a lot of finish loss. Basically needs to be refinished, and that's what we're going to do today. Really cool dial. The gold dial GEs are really cool. They didn't make tons of them. They're out there, but there's not too many, especially this model. You can see that's the tone and power switch. Volume, you can actually see the volume indicator move over here. Tuning, which has a built-in vernier tuning, which is kind of cool. And then this is the band, which you can see moves a little dot in there. It's hard to tell, but when it's on, you'll see it. I was told this lights up. Didn't hear much more than that. But, you know, these things are old. Shouldn't plug them in. Someone did. It came out of a barn in New Hampshire. And, yeah, it's definitely a barn find. So we'll hopefully be able to clean this up, get the old finish off, and get a new finish on it. This was all one color. I might do the bottom here a little darker. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how I want to approach this. This is a really cool cabinet. So I'd like to do it in a way that it really makes it stand out. Well, here's the chassis. This does not look good. Looks like we might be finding a power transformer for this guy. Got a melted power transformer. That's great. A lot of rubber wiring, of course. Perfect. That's good. Other than that, it's all original, which is kind of crazy, being this old and having this much in terms of original components. Yeah, I should check that transformer before I go any further, because, yeah. Alright, so we gotta figure out how we want to go with the leaf blowers in the background that won't stop. Been going on for like 2 hours. The field coil's open, of course, because why wouldn't it be? This is going to be one of those radios where everything's wrong with it. So, like, field coil's open. I think the output transformer's okay. It looks like it's okay, at least from checking it, trying to check it from here. It seems fine. This speaker is welded together. You can see how this U-shaped piece is welded to this. I could cut it, and I could excuse me, I'm trying to get over a sinus infection. You know, I could cut this, and I could, you know, try to figure out how they did it. Yeah, I could cut it, and I could remove the field coil, and I could, you know, fix it and rewind it, put it back together. And I could re-weld it, have a welder, that's not a problem. But, is it worth it? You know, this radio is a nice radio, but it's not a highly collectible model. It's not like it's a Zenith shuttered dial or something like that someone's really going to want and pay decent money for if it's complete. This is just a nice radio that's kind of hard to find. Then we have a power transformer, which looks like it's been underwater. Obviously, it got extremely hot, and the paint has come off of it. It started rusting. So, you know, what do we do with that? So obviously, if the transformer's good, I'll just repaint it. But there's a lot of tar at the bottom, and that's kind of scary. So you have a bad transformer, bad field coil. Right away, that would say this is kind of a parts radio. But the thing is, like I said, kind of a hard to find model. So even though GEs are not that collectible, this gold dial GE is, to some extent, and I'd really love to see it work. On top of that, these are all 6.3 volt tubes. So that's not really a big deal. And I'm sure I could find a transformer for it. It doesn't have to be exact, as long as it's close. Got 2, 4, 6, 8 tubes. So there's probably something out there that'll work. So I'm leaning toward, if I need a transformer, I'll do that. But I will probably find a replacement speaker before I just, fix that one. Well, I did the cabinet as my... kind of got windy here. So you can see what I did with the contrasting colors. It's not original, but you know what? I like it. And I'm going to do what I like. So I did it. I think it looks really good. I did this was a pain to tape. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Grill bars look good. Everything's pretty decent. So I think this is worthy of its new power transformer and everything else I'm going to put in it. Hopefully it'll come out okay. Alright, so I figured we'd start on this GE transformer. I checked the measurements of it compared to the schematic, and the high voltage winding is measuring way too low, like half what it's supposed to be or less, which indicates to me that there's a shorted winding somewhere. With the amount of tar, there was a lot more. I removed some of it. Big pile on the bottom of the cabinet. It smells like it's been on fire. This transformer is no good. I don't need to test it to, check the high voltage on it to know that it's gone. So I was able to find a replacement. So that's coming. So this radio has a number of problems. So the transformer is one of them. The second one is the field coil in the speaker does not look repairable. So that's a problem. And then the third one is this can dome resistor here. The two sections of it are open. I think what I'll do for now is I will bridge the sections. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'll do it in order to test the radio once I get the rest of the stuff done. And then I'll replace it once I know it's working. Then, of course, it's got all the usual old radio problems. Capacitors, lots of them. And then this one has tons of rubber wiring that needs to all be replaced, because this is the kind that if you look at it wrong, it just, yeah. So that's probably where I'll start. I know it's kind of not where I normally would start, but I think that's the best place to start here. So I'll start with the rubber wiring. I'll get that replaced along with any capacitors that are connected to the same terminals, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, this is starting to look better. I did a lot of wire replacement here. I replaced most of the bad wiring, at least in this section. I do have some up here to still do. A couple over here, I think, still. Several capacitors. There's at least 2, 3, I want to say 7, maybe 1 or 2 more hidden ones. But I think we've got most of them. There's the safety cap there. 2 of them, actually. 2 in 1. Got the electrolytics all changed. They're all hidden underneath here. Well, some of them are hidden, but they're there. Can dome, the only section that's open is the last section here, so I can bridge that for now. Other than that, I think that's it. So we're making some progress. The big thing will be the power transformer. We'll have to change that. I did most of the rubber wiring. I have not really done, there's a couple over here, and then there's 3 capacitors left. I've changed all the rest. I've added a fuse. I have to use this. Added a fuse here. I also added the safety caps on the terminal strip, along with a new power cord. So that's, pretty safe. Transformer's going to come out, so we're going to change that after when that comes in. I need to wait for the one I bought to replace it. Other than that, can dome right here. This section is open. I'm going to bridge that for now. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. If I'm adding a permanent magnet speaker to this, which I will probably have to, I may need to increase the value of the second filter, wherever that is. Where is it? Here it is here. Probably will need to go up. I put a 22. It's supposed to be a 16. My guess is I might have to go to like a 33. What do I have? First ones really should be 16. I only have a 22. I mean, it's at the limit of a 5x3, so it should be okay. This is an 80, but it's the same tube. You know, this is the nicest possible way to do this with the focus, the terminal strip there. So that was good that there was already a hole. I didn't have to drill any holes. And the cord has a really secure place to attach. The original arrangement here was just a wire wrapped with tape and then, you know, soldered to other wires. And kind of janky. I don't know. I would expect better for GE in the 30s. I don't know. They made some pretty solid stuff. You know, other than that, this thing is really well made. And other than the user, I think the user error was what killed this. It wasn't that it was a bad radio. It was the caps were failing. You had rubber wiring that was failing that shorted to this shield here. So you had a B plus direct dead short on the second filter cap, which took out the field coil. And I think what happened is actually probably took out the transformer first. It was probably getting really hot, boiling tar, smelled bad. I don't know why someone didn't notice. And then eventually, because of it was shorted to the shield, it took out the field coil. It was drawing too much current through it. And that silenced the radio pretty much. Okay, we got all the caps changed. All the wiring changed that needs to be. That was most of it. Okay, here's the old transformer in place still. Got the new one here. It's a little bit smaller. Not by much, but it is a little smaller. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that will not be a problem. Okay, power transformer is in. It's a little small. It's a bit smaller than the old one. It technically meets the specs. I double checked. I mean, it does meet the specs. I do wonder if the original one was bigger because it had two sides of the primary. It had a higher primary winding. I don't know. I really don't know. Hopefully this will work. Okay, I know this is crazy, but this is when I had 3 resistors in one to make a 1.5K. It's exactly right. So I just jumpered that in. I know this is not the right way to do this. Assuming I can get this to work, what I'm going to do is replace this whole can dome. I'll have to calculate the wattages. Well, it's working. I love how the first thing that I get.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
First thing I get is sports betting. Welcome to 2025. 10-10 wins. Sounds pretty decent. I'm only at 90 volts. Let's bring it up a little more.
If you've been in a car crash, choosing the right firm is crucial to get the help you need and the best result possible.
It's supposed to be at 265 at that point.
A check of the AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Brian Thompson. Kevin, it is a...
Okay, so now that we know it works, what's next? Next is time to do math. Got to figure out the wattages, of the resistors in that can dome. Now you can do that in a couple different ways. So I did a quick calculation here. I know we're still on this. Yes, we are. I want to verify because the power transformer seems a lot smaller. And I don't know. I should probably see how warm it's getting. Well, it's cold. It was only on for 5 or 10 minutes. But the field coil replacement is a 1200 ohm resistor. It's got an 84 volt drop from the first filter and then the second filter up there, which I have still there connected. If you divide 84 by 1200, it's 70.07, which is 70 milliamps. So that's the current on this unit, 70 milliamps. The transformer I use is rated at 90, so that's fine. No problem at all. I was at 120 volts, 364 on the first filter, which is actually about right. I am a little concerned about the surge current, the power on surge current, which I will install a thermistor. My last one, I think. I need to order some. But, that will bring up the voltage a little more slowly, so it's a little kinder to it. But, yeah, so I'm thinking it's okay. So we want to figure out the wattage of the resistor in the can dome. You can see I've temporarily tacked that one in. So there's a couple ways you can do it. The easiest way, I think, to do this is you figure out the voltage drop. So that's 15 volts. So you have 15 volts, and then you square it. So that's the formula you end up with. You do the voltage squared, so it's 15 squared is 225 divided by 1500. So that's the approximate wattage of everything. Now this is not the wattage of the resistors. This is the wattage being displaced. So this is what I need to actually make sure I'm overcompensating for. Now, do I want to put a 20 watt resistor in for the first one, which uses 0.15? No, I mean, realistically, I could probably get away with a 2 watt or a 5 watt. I'm probably going to do a 5. Same thing here with the 8500 ohm section. 5 would be marginal. I'm probably better with a 10 watt and so on. So I'm basically doing that. And I'm going to see what I have, and hopefully I have something that works. So this is kind of what I got so far here. I've got a 8.5K. I got the 1500, which is already in there, but I'm going to replace that when the new ones come in. Get an 8.5K for the 8.6. I got a 10K, 5 watt. I've got a 120 for the 125. That'll be fine. And then a 470 instead of the 410. I might have something closer. I might have a 430 somewhere, but I'll take a look. This is a 5 watt. I probably could put a 2 watt or a 1 watt, but I don't know if I have one. I'm going to do some more digging, but at least I got something to start with. I've also got a couple terminal strips here. So what I have to do is drill out these rivets and then replace them with this terminal strip. Now, a lot of people will do a couple things. They'll, do what I did here, and they'll just call it good. And yes, it's good until it decides to short to ground. So it's really not good in this case. So they can't do that. The other thing that people like to do is they will remove these and they'll just, botch in resistors wherever. And I've seen that done, and that's not neat either. So we can't do that. We want to do this properly. Yes, it takes a few more minutes, but what's a few more minutes out of your day to drill out a couple rivets? There's only 2 of them, so I think we can do it. So we'll do that, and then we'll install this whole thing, and then we'll have to power up the radio, make sure it still works. Okay, this is kind of crazy. This 3 resistors in series is not final. I will definitely replace that with 1 part. Just don't have it in the mail yet. So the others are replaced. Doesn't look the best, but it's okay. It's, at least safe. It's not going to short to the chassis. Got that grounded. That's tight. So we should be in pretty good shape. I installed the thermistor here. This is a CL90, so this should be better in terms of just kind of slowing the warm up a little bit on the set. So that's good. I got a fuse in here. So we're going to basically, I'll check the voltage here. I'll put a meter on it, and we'll bring it up slow and just see what it does. Hopefully it'll play still.
Christians have shared more than 9 billion. As they come local races that are.
Sliwa has been focusing his campaign stops at subways.
Challenge to play every year. They play.
Where'd you get your eBay has all the parts that
Wow, this sounds really good. We're only 120 volts. I got the
each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
We're into November now. Time to consider the tech. Tylenol maker Kenvue also sells Band-Aids, and the company could use one. Its stock has suffered in recent weeks after unfounded claims from President Trump.
Okay, well, we got it's kind of low voltage here. I'm going to shut that off. So obviously it's working, no major issues. The can dome replacement was a success. I think what I'm going to do now is I will have to let it cool down, and then I'll power it up again. and just double check the voltage on the first filter. It should be about 350 volts. I would prefer it to be lower because I don't want the surge power on voltage to go over 500 volts when I first power it up. Now the thermistor that I put in here should help with that. So I should be getting a lower, it's a slower warm up. So we'll check that. But in general, it's working fine. So that's the good news.
And just leave
This
it.
is great.
That's what they've been through.
Carmen, in just 15 seconds, what are your sources saying? Do they... Favorite company? Flash careers.
Could probably use a little bit more adjustment on the antenna, but
Sports and activities are ramping up. The natural response for most parents might be panic. I'm overwhelmed already.
pretty good.
Plus, family life is just...
For dedicated and forward-thinking.
Not bad.
To join
Love
their
the
growth
dial.
team.
Really love
More
the dial.
information, including
Beautiful.
application.
All right, the GE is done.
After death at her house, this while teenagers were reportedly partying on Monday. Suffolk police say 7-year-old Bonnie Miranda.
There's the cabinet. I know. I'm sorry. It's kind of dark. Getting dark early now.
Say up to 100 kids were at her house on Carrollton Road about 10:30
The dial
the other
is
night.
beautiful.
Big fight broke out.
Love
Police
the
say
dial.
15-year-old Liam DeLimo was stabbed during the altercation.
This is just
Because we always, I think, when we... Samara, to start with you, do we know what specific messages?
people know it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Love the fine tuning.
Yeah, I rewrote the songs Frank Sinatra, New York, New York, as I played in the last
Tone
hour.
control.
And I'll just play a little bit here. I won't play the whole thing. Listen.
Starts.
Bam.
I'm leaving today.
To be about a draft pick, but maybe moving those picks somewhere else.
I'm leaving.
Can't play that too much.
2 hours down, 2 to go, 203-333-9422-333.
Wonderful sounding radio.
Election day,
You don't see these. You just don't. And the dial is just, I cannot get over
numbers, we'll
how
give you the
cool
actual
that is.
numbers as we
So,
have them.
I'm very happy. Very, very happy with how this came out.
Mayor of Norwalk,
This was
Barbara Smith's
basically
54.6%.
saved as far as I can tell. I mean, we had to do a little bit of, playing around with the speaker and the, it's got a third-party speaker, non-original. It's got a non-original power transformer, but, it was the only way to save it, and I feel like it was worth saving, so I wanted to do it, and it is really a nice radio. It's definitely on the top, if I could pick the top 10 radios that I have, I would say this probably goes in there. It's just really unique. You don't see them. They're not common. I mean, you see a lot of people with Zeniths and RCA Tombstones and whatever, but this is just an uncommon set. So, very cool.